Nick Newling is an outspoken advocate for mental health, suicide prevention and sharing personal stories. Having lived through the experience of suffering with a mood disorder throughout high school and losing his brother to suicide, he has since dedicated himself to changing the way mental illness is addressed in schools, workplaces and communities.
Hearing Nick speak about it definitely opens up your eyes to how people are going to deal with the way you ask questions and stuff, especially because we've been through some of the stuff that you were talking about. There's a lot of kids there that I know normally wouldn't talk about mental health. I think after hearing you speak about it, they might actually bring it up in conversation with someone.
I thought it was just study stress. I thought that my anxiety was just me working really hard, and that's what happens when you work really hard, is you're meant to get stressed out. I didn't know it was actually a medical condition.
I feel like it changes our way of mental health by starting that conversation and knowing that it's something that can be discussed in society and something that can be easily discussed with family and friends. It allows them to have that ability to connect and start conversations with peers and teachers and other friends and family members. He acknowledged certain aspects that really connected with me and my past experiences, and I feel like that hit a lot of the other peer members.
It was as much an absence of happiness as it was a presence of sadness. I wasn't always completely down in the dumps, but I just wasn't able to feel anything good.
I just love that it was more personal instead of just being told facts and statistics that we already were aware of.
I had to pretend to enjoy spending time with my mates. I had to fake smile. I'd watch my favourite TV show and it was funny, but I knew it was funny, but I wasn't able to laugh. I just could not laugh anymore. It was just pleasure, joy was just gone.
I think it definitely made an impact, especially on me, and I saw the rest of the audience as well. We really took notice of different things that we hadn't really thought of before, like different things that create the stigma, different types of therapy and stuff, not just that there's mental illness, that there's also things that come along with that we don't really think about.
I think, if I've gone through all this with the most lovely, supportive family around me, like how do people go if they don't have that? They're not as fortunate to have that. And I met a lot of those kids in Rivendell, people who don't have families, whose families don't care, or aren't around anymore, and it's so tough to see that.
I think it's important to hear people's stories because it gives you methods on how to approach other people feeling the same way. I think we still have a lot of work to do on how to cope and deal with people experiencing it though. We often have people come in and the whole school just sits down and listens, and seeing today how people were so intrigued in listening to the story, I think our school would benefit from it as well.
As I said, I've never met someone with a mental illness. I hadn't really learnt this stuff in school, and so I just thought everyone wants to die. I didn't know that was abnormal. For a couple years or so, I'd just constantly think about death.
It shows that you don't go through it alone, and I think it's going to bring a lot more conversation about mental health and stuff at school.
I think it's opened up the importance of having that conversation, and it's encouragement to have that conversation.
I feel like it's just the beginning of starting to create awareness around mental health, and I feel like it's a very valuable topic that needs to be discussed more.
I'd definitely be more open to talking to people and even like starting the conversation, which always scared me so much.
I feel like sessions like this and presenters like Nick and his ability to connect with students further our ability to connect with those battling these issues.